Hey everyone, before we get started with today's video, if you forgot to use a referral code when you signed up for Uber to get your bonus or guarantee of up to $1,000, then here's how to apply my referral code so you can still get some extra money. Here's the steps. So 1, open the Uber app. Next, click your photo or the 3 lines at the top corner. Click earnings. Click help or question mark. Click account and payment. Then referrals. And this step is really important. Click invited driver, report my missing or incorrect driver referral. And then click send a message. And for the invite code, use G4QA5UE. Friend's name, yours truly, Gregory Wave. GREGORYWAVE, like wave. The phone number is 815-847-0184. And the email is gregwave@yahoo.com. And for the details, you can just say something like, my good friend Gregory referred me to drive for Uber. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rideshare Hub. My name's Greg Wave. I've been MIA for a while, going through some car troubles. I did a video on those car troubles. You can check that out. So, yeah, go check out that video. In the meantime, I'm borrowing a red Kia Soul. Car seat included. Maybe I should go have some children. Just kidding. All right, let's jump right into this, though. So what I'm doing today is 10 current mistakes you can make as a newer driver. Some of these are generic, but most of these I find over and over again are the biggest things that people screw up on. And then they reach out to me saying the numbers don't add up, things don't make sense. So let's just go back to the basics, and I'm just gonna jump right into this video. I feel like one of the biggest mistakes is the vehicle you start with. If you're not getting a gas-efficient car, you're not going to enjoy this. If you're driving a truck or an SUV that doesn't qualify for XL, you're just throwing money out the door. And I would literally bet that at the end of the day, you make like $8 to $10 an hour after gas. Because, especially like I have friends that have trucks that take premium, and I mean, they're literally filling up for $80, sometimes even more. Whereas like, a smaller sedan you fill up a lot of times for 30, and it'll last even longer, so that's the biggest thing. The next thing is a comfort level. If you're not comfortable in your car, you're not going to enjoy this. I'm 6'2". I need a spacious car. For those of you guys that are even taller, this is so vital. It's going to determine if you stay doing this or not, because your knees start to hurt really bad after a while. So does your back. So you really need that guaranteed space to be stretching out. So yeah, like a good vehicle, and like not even a cool vehicle, a good gas efficient vehicle that works for you. All right. The next thing I would say, not getting a lot of movement throughout your day. If you're Ubering and Lyfting 8 hours a day, 6 hours a day, I would say, and you're not taking like a 30-minute break at some point to just get loose, that's, again, another thing that it really affects you and you don't realize why. But the longer you just sit stagnant in a car, knees locked at 90-degree angles, that's not good. A lot of drivers get blood clots in their knees. Like, that's actually a real thing. Or maybe it's just their legs, who knows. But I know I've seen a lot of stories about people that have been getting blood clots because they're sitting stagnant for so long. You got to get up and you got to be moving. Jumping right into that, your diet is everything. Again, this isn't a really active job. You're not exactly burning calories, So you need to be eating healthy. The tendency is to just kill a bunch of fast food. It's going to kill you. I mean, it's not really a joke anymore. We know too much about health nowadays to literally be eating that much fast food while we do this. It is just, it's going to affect you. You'll get fatigued way quicker too. Let's see. Next up is not getting some essential items. So there's some essential things you need to get to. Again, it's all about making your job easier. Here's some things I'm just going to rattle off at the top of my head. Seat cushions, dual amp for Uber and Lyft, a really good charging port, some basic cleaning supplies, rubber gloves, a car vacuum, a portable lunchbox, Let's see, multiple charging cables, an aux cord, basic cleaning supplies. You could even say water bottles. You can even say a mini trash can. I mean, the list goes on and on. So do some research on some basic things that drivers like. I have videos on some basic items you need, and figure out what are the main things you need and get those, and then go from there. But there's some basic items starting out that if you just do these, it's going to make your job easier. And a lot of people, maybe you just test out Uber and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this for a month, see what I think. And you won't want to continue because you didn't do some of your basic due diligence, and you need to. The next, I would say, this is probably my biggest thing for newer drivers, is the aimless driving. And early on, you're going to assume you need to just be constantly cruising around. It's the exact opposite. You should honestly stay exactly where you're at, because more than likely it wouldn't take more than 10 minutes to get a ride, especially if you're pumping out Uber and Lyft. So it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes, and then you can get that, you can get that ride and you didn't waste any gas. Whereas a lot of times if you start driving aimlessly, you end up wasting about the same amount of time just to get a ride that might even be shorter, So you were driving around blowing gas, and if you would have just hung tight, you would have gotten a ride. That goes into my next point, not doing both apps. Not doing both apps is just a mistake. It's the easiest way to stay busy. It's the easiest way to make the best bang for your buck. The only time you should ever not pump out both apps is if you're on a really good bonus for Uber. Excuse me. If you're on a really good bonus for Uber and you need to bust out X amount of rides, then maybe you shut off Lyft for a while. But for the most part, you're going to always want to run both apps. I promise you that. Next biggest thing I see is not utilizing destination trips. Now, this one is one of the things, it takes time to really understand how to use a lot of these things. So give yourself time. I'm not saying like force yourself into using destination rides or doing any of these things, but definitely get acclimated with them. Destination tribe rides can be the difference in another $100 each day. And I'm not BSing when I say that, especially on a weekend. I've had destination trips. They'll be the difference between like $150 and like $80, which 80 would still be great for a few hours. But the reason being is the way you can use these, you can really get creative with them. You can really get creative with them with surging, utilizing consecutive trip bonuses. The list goes on and on and on, but you want to get familiar with them, especially if you're a newer driver. But use them the right way. And I have a video on that too. So again, just Google that video and then watch how to really make the most money off them. I've made a ton of money off of destination trips. The next thing I would say is not utilizing third-party apps. There's apps for saving money on gas. I used to plug them all the time. GetUpside, freaking phenomenal. Gas Buddy is great for showing you the cheapest gas stations. A lot of these will even partner with Waze so that it's like integrated in, and it'll tell you where the best, cheapest gas is. So many ways, so many apps you can use, flight tracking apps, even things like Play Octopus and Cargo that'll just help you make more money while you do this. There's ads you can run on your car. There's so many different things you can do through all these apps, and if you do a lot of them, it might end up being that you make an extra $100 or $200 a month, even more. There's a lot of people that utilize just one of those apps and they claim they make an extra $300 a month. So if you really want to make the best bang for your buck, like there's no reason to be prideful about using third-party apps. Just go use them. They'll make you more money. What are you concerned about? Good Lord. I find that so many people are so like anti-additional stuff, and I'm like, listen. This is a gig economy. Like, you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to hustle. Next, I would say is not utilizing the weekends. If you're not using at least Friday or Saturday, hypothetically both, you're just not going to be doing as well as you can. Now, I understand a lot of you just can't. And obviously, if you can't, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you have the time to drive on Friday and Saturday and you don't, man, you're missing out. Because sometimes, especially if you're part-time, you might make $300 on driving 6 hours a day for Monday through Thursday, but then you put in less hours just working that Friday and you make the same amount of money. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can literally work 2 weekend days and do better than you'll do all week. So something to really think about. Maybe you just need a break. Maybe you wanted to have more days off in your week. Try putting in 2 really long days, Friday and Saturday. I guarantee it'll be shocking how much better you'll do. Let's see, the next up would be kind of like aimlessly driving is surge chasing. Surge chasing can really put you in some bad positions. So my general rule of thumb is, if it's over $5 and under 8 minutes, I'll go after it. But if it doesn't follow those guidelines, I won't chase it, because I usually won't get it then. I would say, like, I used to just aim, when I was a younger driver, I would just go after anything. It's probably like 1 out of 10 times that I felt like I was actually catching the surge, unless it was close and I just knew I was going to make it. But if it was ever a gamble where it was like over 10 minutes, never get it. Surges go quick. They're very fleeting. I've seen with people that, like, I would drive with, we would park in the same parking lot and we would have surges in 2 different areas. Looking at both our apps at the same time, it doesn't make sense. Point being, it's so fleeting that you can't just think you're going to make all of them. You've got to be strategic about them, you know, and figure out which ones you can and can't make. Because the worst thing is, like, turning your app off to chase some surge 15, 20 minutes away and then get in there and then it goes down to a $2. Like, God, that is not fun. The last thing, and then I'm going to cut this video off, that I think people, especially newer drivers, do, is they don't do their taxes, or they don't record the right way or file the right way. Like, you should not be paying money at the end of the year. You shouldn't be paying a dime, because there's so many write-offs, so many expenses you can utilize that, and if you're not getting those done the right way, it's going to hurt you. And it's one of those things that will really discourage you when then you go and you're like, man, paid 25% supposedly to Uber all year, and now I got to throw an additional 25 out the door just because I'm an independent contractor, or 20 or whatever it is. That sucks, you know? So you definitely want to do it the right way. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more content, so stay posted on the channel. A lot of good stuff is coming, and I hope this has been a great 2020 for all of you so far. I will talk to you all soon.